Welcome back to Fold in the Cheese. It's your boy K-Troll on the mic. Today's Thursday. We are previewing Week 14 in the NFL. I am weirdly wearing a Rams jersey. We'll get to that later. But I am joined today in this holiday season by the Water Hobbs to my buddy.
Well, are you going to sing a song or something, or can I just go back to work?
A song? Yeah. Anything for you, Dad. I'm here with my dad, and we never met, and he wants me to sing him a song. And I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. So I'm here now. I found you, Daddy. And guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
Wow, that was weird.
Ethan Gale fan. What's happening, E?
Nothing much, man. How you doing? First of all, yeah, that is quite the throwback of the Rams jersey. So I bet you don't wear that one too often.
You know, I really don't. It felt a little gross coming on, but I've got good reasoning for it, I will say. So this is a very obscure, not obscure that it's number 13, because I think that was Kurt Warner.
I was going to say, I thought that was a Kurt Warner jersey.
This is not a Kurt Warner jersey. This is a Chris Givens jersey, who was drafted by the Rams out of Wake Forest as a wide receiver and played like 2 seasons for them. He was a burner. He was like a 50-yard touchdown guy. That was all he was good for. I think he did like kick returns and stuff. But so I got this early on when he was first drafted. I thought it was super cool. And like all my jerseys, not only did the player end up leaving, the whole team left after I got this one. So now I have a Rams jersey that I can't wear because I hate them for leaving St. Louis. But it's a Wake guy, which I support. And it's also in honor of John Wolford, their new starting quarterback, who is also a Wake Forest fan.
I wish you had bought like an old school like Browns jersey and then they go up and leave to Baltimore. Like I just wish you had a Houston Oilers jersey, but then they came to Tennessee. So I just
Houston Oilers jerseys are actually very popular around here.
I mean, the Oilers I loved that logo. Great weird color scheme that was like powder blue and brown and like reddish.
Blue, it's like a red. Yeah. That's true. They have a lot of like Warren Moon throwbacks and Earl Campbell. Yeah. Those jerseys are really popular here.
Warren Moon. I liked Warren Moon. He was good.
He was a bad man.
Yeah. So you should really just get every relocated franchise. You could have basically an LA Raiders jersey, but then Oakland and Las Vegas. I mean, you got a lot of movement there.
One of each.
The Rams, yeah. They're back.
Baltimore Colts.
Yep.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, we're talking football here. We're not going.
That is football. They were in St. Louis.
Oh, right. Okay, you're right. My bad.
Way back in the day.
I just knew your baseball team was the Cardinals. But anyway, we digress.
They ain't going nowhere.
They are not. They are a stalwart there.
That's right.
But quickly going to Elf. So the best part about it is, you know who directed Elf, right? This is not one of your trivia questions, so you don't have to worry. If you get it wrong, no big deal.
Fine.
Do you know who?
No.
So it's Jon Favreau. You know Jon Favreau, right?
Yeah.
So he has had one of the more hilarious, kind of ridiculous careers. So he's obviously started as an actor. He was in one of my all-time favorite movies, Swingers, opposite Vince Vaughn. Loved him in that. And then, he's had some bit roles, nothing really too big. He was always a good character, but it was never the focus of it. But then if you look at his career now, he is probably like one of in the nerd community, is probably like the king or the god. Okay. So he creates Elf, one of the all-time favorite Christmas movies. Yep. He is the one who basically kicked off the Marvel Cinematic Universe by spearheading Iron Man. He was the director of Iron Man.
That's right.
And then like, again, creates that whole universe. They didn't have their big boys. They didn't have the rights to Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Hulk. They didn't have those rights. So they're like, let's go to the bottom of the barrel. Let's go with Iron Man. Because he was not a big character at the time.
He was not a big character growing up, but the movies were so good.
Right. They didn't have X-Men. So, they took a chance and Favreau was the man and like he did it all. It was his creative content. So then he obviously kickstarts that. And then he decides, you know what? I'm going to jump into Star Wars. He creates The Mandalorian and is like kind of creative, like all their new creative content. So literally in like the geek nerd community, he's basically untouchable, the man of everything.
He's been in you skipped over probably 20 of the all-time classic comedies of that early 2000s generation, as well, that he was, to your point, a bit character in, but usually was also like a producer or a director or a writer.
True.
Had a big part in them. That's the only way you can cast yourself in there for like these small roles. Like he basically wrote it and was like, I'm going to be in it.
I'm going to be in it. True.
Random stuff, like The Breakup, for instance. He's in a Breakup.
I feel like he's in with a lot of Vince Vaughn stuff.
He's in a bunch of Vince Vaughn stuff.
Couples Retreat. He was in that.
Couples Retreat. Yep.
I mean, obviously
he shows up in nearly all of those. It's kind of like the Rob Schneider to Adam Sandler. Like it's kind of just like he shows up in all the movies somehow.
Yes. And well, he was in Friends. You remember him in Friends?
Yeah.
He was the UFC fighter. Trying to be a UFC fighter.
Yeah. He dated Monica, right?
Yes, he did date Monica before one Chandler Bing. So yes. So yes, quite the career, quite the resume. But it's just kind of funny that creates one of the most iconic Christmas movies of all time, creates one of the most like sci-fi movies of all time, and like just stuff like that. He's just such range, Jon Favreau.
Such range. Yeah, that's true. Kudos to Jon Favreau. Kudos to you for wearing that great Christmas sweater as well.
Thanks, man.
Looking sharp.
Trying to be a little festive today since we are kicking off kind of like the Christmas movie swing, so I had to.
That's true. So obviously we are doing Elf trivia today. Do you have? Yes.
I was gonna say real quick about the sweater. So full disclosure, this is literally the only Christmas sweater I have. So whenever we go to like holiday parties around this time of year, this is literally the only thing I have to wear. So especially when it's like families or neighbors and friends like that, I feel like everyone just knows. Oh, here comes the snowflake sweater. Like
here he is with the sweater again.
That's all I got, man.
Like the lost shirt days, where you only had this shirt apparently and wore it all the time.
Yeah. Times were tough. That was the only shirt I had. Then I lost it. So those were the last shirt days.
You ought to make another bobblehead of you in the Christmas Ethan.
Yeah, just Xmas Ethan. There it is.
Xmas Ethan.
So yeah, I don't have a very big wardrobe for Christmas sweaters.
Well, Christmas is new to you, to be fair.
Newish.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly new to you. So you didn't grow up with a bunch of Christmas sweater lineage that you would have grown into.
True. It's not like pass me downs or anything like that. But it's so funny. Randomly in our Christmas decorations, we have these two small sweaters, like really Christmassy sweaters. For whatever reason, Brady is so funny because he will just latch on to random things and just rock the crap out of it. So he finds this, it's literally like from the 80s. I don't know if it was like passed down from Kirsten's family or whatever, but we were, getting all the decorations out, decorating the house, and he just put it on and he wore it to school the next day. I'm like, all right, man. He's like, this is okay. It's got little jingle. I mean, it's truly the definition of an ugly Christmas sweater.
It's tacky.
Like little reindeer, little jingle bells, and little like
nice.
And he's just saying, "Yep, wearing this to school." So
what are you gonna do? Kids do the darndest things. My daughter is now wearing like Spider-Man shirts, and we had to buy her a whole set of superhero shirts, but not the girly kind that are all pink and purple. She wanted the normal Spider-Man, Flash, Captain America.
Even the OG.
She now wears those to school. So
I love it. OG.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. What are you gonna do? So let's get to some updates around the NFL, and then we'll get to our picks and pick'em update and picks, and then we've got a little trivia break for Elf, and then we'll see what happens after that. We got some run your pool updates as well.
Hey,
gonna have to continue monitoring on the injury fronts now. Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence, one of those guys is hurt. Lamar Jackson first sprained PCL is what they're saying. So I've heard anywhere from 1 to 3, 2 to 4 weeks. He's gonna be out. He's going to be out for a couple weeks and maybe through your fantasy playoffs, unfortunately. We talked about Tyler Huntley, who should be a totally fine backup if you lost Lamar. But Trevor Lawrence is more personal to me. He's got a big toe injury, and he is reassuring everyone that he will play. But
can we just talk about the big toe real quick? Like, how lazy did people get, or scientists, whoever like came up with anatomy, like pinky toe, like index toe? What should we got? It's just the big one. The big toe? Sure, the big one. That one. Like, would just be like...
Is there an index toe? Is that called an index toe?
I just kind of made that up. I was just going with
you made it up.
But, like, think about it. No other toe besides the pinky has a name. So then, like, pinky toe, weird, whatever. I don't know if there's some etymology to that. But then it's like, hey, this one's just bigger. Let's go. Big toe. Why don't they just call this short, stumpy finger? I don't know.
We should have called it the thumb toe.
Thumb toe?
But what else would you call it, Why don't we come up with a name for it today?
What?
On this podcast? Let us name the big toe.
Let's call it a Chumbawumba.
Chumbawumba.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence has a sprained Chumbawumba.
Chumbawumba.
And he's day to day. Questionable.
Say
to play
today,
this week.
just like the band. They very day today.
Just like the fans.
They
We're
are
all
living
doing
paycheck to paycheck.
He's a sprained Chumbawumba. He's questionable to play. I think he will play. It sounds like he will play. It's a juicy matchup against the Titans.
Big
I really
game.
want to see him play for my fantasy. Of course, I don't want him to play in real life because Titans going to need some dubs here rolling down the stretch. But
Sure.
So keep an eye on that. Kenneth Walker didn't practice. Neither did DJ Dallas. Travis Homer's there. They've elevated Wayne Gallman to their practice squad and maybe going to make him on the roster. Like
they should just call up
Seattle
Sean Alexander. I bet you Sean Alexander still has something in the tank. He could give him something.
I bet he does. He's like AP. He's like kind of cut from the same cloth. Like,
Is he boxing too?
I don't know if he's boxing. AP did get knocked out though. That was not cool.
Wait, did we agree? Did we research it? Was that against Frank Gore or was this something different?
No, you thought it was Le'Veon versus Frank Gore, and it was Le'Veon versus AP.
Versus AP. Okay.
Frank Gore, I think, backed out.
There it is.
He got COVID or something happened at the end there, or he got injured. Something happened. Like he wasn't being a chump. He couldn't.
He wasn't being a chump in his celebrity boxing round.
No, I think he wanted to fight. It's just like he got injured or something happened where he couldn't do it. And on pretty short notice, AP was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And
I'll throw some punches.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a punchline. There's a joke in there with AP and being boxing ready, but I'm not going to make it.
Nope.
But Le'Veon,
not appropriate.
Le'Veon knocked him out. So good times. So I don't know what to tell you on Seattle's backfield. Honestly, I'd probably try and avoid it at all costs. I don't want, like, if Travis Homer is the guy starting who has his own knee issue, I don't want that. DJ Dallas, I don't want that. There's a chance someone will have a good week, but
can we just talk about, like, what is the deal with the backfield in Seattle in general? Okay, so flashback to, I guess, only a year ago. Chris Carson, down, neck, retires. Rashad Penny comes in. All right, he's going to be great. 2 weeks, dead. Like, no knees. So then Kenneth Walker, down. All the backups, down. Like, what is happening? Like, what is it about
San Francisco,
Seattle
man?
Running back. My God.
San Francisco, same thing.
I guess
those West Coast running backs. I don't know what's going on out there.
I guess. Jeez.
It's not good.
We should see if when they come to the East, since your coast to coast theory, those 3 hours are a big difference. So we'll have to see when.
We should see if that's when they get injured. We should see if that's when they get injured. Deep dive.
And it's probably because they're not like stretching and doing knee lifts on the plane like Russ. So that's my guess.
They don't have time to stretch because they're 3 hours behind. So when they get to the game, they don't have 3 hours. They lost 3 hours of time that they could be stretching.
Right.
And recovering.
While everyone was sleeping, I'm doing leg lifts.
Yeah. Ooh. Did an hour of leg lifts out there. Great. Good for you. All right. Joe Mixon still needs to, quote, log a full contact practice. So he has not done that yet. So he's on concussion protocol. Samaje Perine has been a stud in his absence. You don't care which one of them plays if you have them both. You just know you'll pop in the one that's active.
Yep.
But kind of hoping Joe Mixon sits, honestly, because Samaje's been awesome.
He's been a stud.
I'd say potentially even better than Mixon. So we'll see there. Traylon Burks
hasn't Mixon just had like a very blah year. Like, again, I know
5 touchdowns in one game. And then
right, except for that one game. But I mean, besides that, it's kind of like the DK Metcalf, where again, it's not bad, but it's nothing explosive, nothing that's just kind of been noteworthy. Except again, take away the 5 touchdown game. I just feel like it's just been
yeah. I don't know where he ranks in the season long running backs. I would have guessed before his injury he was probably top 6 or 7 because of the 5 touchdown game, honestly.
Right.
But other than that, probably on average, probably more like a 10 to 12 guy. Like he was still probably getting it done enough, but he wasn't scoring touchdowns earlier. Anyway,
true.
You don't really care who's playing there. Traylon Burks is feeling better, but still not practicing yet. He's in concussion protocol as well. I'm not expecting to see him this week for anyone who may want to start him. Rondale Moore, they're coming out of the bye. The Cardinals coming out of the bye. He's not practicing yet either. He's got a groin issue. Makes me a little nervous. I picked him up in hopes that I could use him this week because my receiving room is pretty thin, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm not sure. I would like to see him back. And Cortland Sutton, I've got him on another team. He's doubtful now. He's got like a hammy issue. Ugh. He was one of the only options you could even consider in Denver.
On the Broncos.
And then he became like not even really that good of an option. So I don't know. And then Brandin Cooks. So mostly I just kind of went through my rosters and found all the guys that I
Yeah, I
have
was
that
gonna
are
say,
not playing.
I see a trend here, but
Yeah, there's a
hey,
trend here. I mean, these are honestly, there's not like a ton of major injuries to cover other than like
new
Lamar
ones,
and
right?
Trevor and
Yeah.
Mixon. So then I just went through a list of people that I'm mad at. Brandon Cooks is still angry, I guess. I don't know. They need to
I mean,
they need to cut him,
that
right?
would be, they should. They just say, you
They
know,
should
just
cut him.
go find a new team. It's fine. So real quick, Joe Mixon, you ready? I'm going to give you his week by week fantasy point breakdown in our PPR league. So
Okay.
21.5, 11.3, 6.8, 17.4, 11.8, 16.8, 18.1, 12.9, 56.1, 9.2.
Yeah.
So again, like, yeah, you take that 56-point game out, it's just meh.
But I would say those 12 to 18s that he was getting almost every week, that's still probably a top 6 to 8 running back.
Probably just because,
In
again,
this
it's
season in
been
particular,
so
where there have been fewer guys that have been like every week studs.
consistent.
That's consistent at least.
Yeah, at least it's a fine consistent. You're not upset. You're bummed a little
Yeah.
bit that it's not more blown out, but it's a fine consistent.
Yeah. Whereas Samaji's getting like 25 a week, and you're kind of like,
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that.
Give me some of that. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of like the around the league. Anything on your end? How's your team? Do you have any injuries you want to talk about on your team that you're mad about?
I mean, I'm just mad about my team.
Yeah.
But no, I don't, because my team is either like out for the year or just crap now. So I'm good.
I've got Kamara and Jonathan Taylor on a bye this week. And so
here's my sad part. So I have Michael Pittman on a bye. So I have to monitor Nico Collins because he's questionable. So that's what I'm monitoring right now.
Nice. Yeah, he's up for a big game.
Big game.
Brandin Cooks ain't gonna play, so whatever.
See? Watch out, Nico.
Let's get a Pixie and Pick'em update.
Let's do it. I like it.
All right, so
let's do this update. I'm liking it.
Look at this. Big E coming off a big week. 13 correct picks, tied with Kyle for the most on the week. But Leslie is the one taking the number 1 spot currently. I dipped. I only had 11 correct picks there. Did not have my best week. Got a little cute, especially with that Patriots game. That was stupid.
Yeah, that was foolish.
And then the Raiders, of course, surprising me. So
here we are.
Here we are. Leslie's in first place. You and I are tied in second. Kyle still in third, fourth, whatever you call it.
All in striking.
Still anybody's ball game.
Oh yeah, I mean it's only a 3-game difference between first and last. And again, I know it's not that many people, but still, just to be within 3 is good. So it's wild. Yeah, it's just wild.
Look at us, just like alternating weeks. I
know
60 to 70 is about the same, but 12, 10, 10, 12,
10, 12.
13, 10, 11. Maybe it'll be the opposite this week. We'll see.
No, that's not. That's me.
Yes.
It's gonna be me. Yes.
It's gonna be me. Let's make some picks.
Okay.
Thursday night football. Let's go. John Wolford and the Rams hosting the Raiders. Who you got?
You know I'm going with my Raiders. I've ridden them the past 2 weeks, and they have not disappointed. Josh Jacobs, stud. Devontae Adams is blowing up with Derek Carr, MVP, leading the way. Again, and the Rams are just such a shit show right now. I mean, they're just so held together by tape. They signed Baker Mayfield. They claimed they were the only team to claim him off waivers. Interesting move for a team that's going nowhere this year. Why? Real quick on him. Why do you think the Rams picked him up?
I've heard a lot of different theories on this, and
are they worried about Stafford long term? Is Baker going to be there long term?
So that's what I'm agreeing with the most, which is there's not certain Stafford's coming back, and if he doesn't,
are you talking about
don't have the quarterback of the future on your roster? No, ever. Going to retire after this year.
I see.
And if he doesn't come back, then you don't have your future quarterback on your roster now, and you don't have a first-round draft pick coming up. So you're like, let's see if Baker can get it done for a little bit, at least for like a year or two or whatever, kind of hold things together. I'd also heard McVay was super high on Baker pre-draft apparently, and he was really raving about him. So I think he's kind of kept that sentiment about the guy. Okay. I don't know how much that impacts this, but you get attached to these guys, and you probably think if he were in my system, I could make it work or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think there's some love there, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay.
I tend to think personally, especially with those neck injuries and spinal injuries and stuff like that. And this is not Stafford's first go round. He just won a Super Bowl. The team is tanking. I can totally see that narrative, which is he gets done with the year and he's like,
Just gonna hang it
I know
up.
I'm done, man. Yeah.
I feel like he still has a couple years left, but yeah, as you said, the neck and the head injuries are always the dicey ones. You never want to mess with those.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be kind of interesting then if you're saying so. Let's just say Stafford's done. Let's just say he hangs it up, and Baker then kind of goes into the Jared Goff role that's going on in Detroit, where he's kind of like the placeholder right now. You know, they haven't committed to him long term. They're not sure. It's like, okay, show us what you can do. So is that the same kind of thing? You're saying, Baker, see if you can do something. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on pretty quick. Is that what you're envisioning?
Although no other team claimed him, pretty crappy situation for Baker to fall into if that's the case, because he's like, who am I throwing it to?
Well, it's going to be around
Cooper
next
Cup's
year.
done.
Yeah, but
Allen
if
Robinson's
if you're saying he's going to be back next year for Stafford, he'll be throwing it to Allen Robinson and Cooper Cup
next year. But he doesn't get a fair shake at a tryout this year.
Right.
He's like, hey, if you show us something these last 5 games, you could be our guy next year. He's like, great. Hey, Tutu Atwell and Ben Skoranek and Van Jefferson. Let's huddle up and let's get on the same page about some routes here. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it is. But I do agree. Like, I do think it's a bit of a tryout. It's a bit of a let's see how he meshes with the team. Let's see if he can grasp the offense really well, what he brings to the table. And you can tell, like, if a quarterback and receivers are not connecting, you can break that down in film and see what's going on. If he's making the right reads and he's making good throws and receivers are screwing up because they're young and inexperienced, or whatever,
right? They'll see that.
Then they might feel confident and be like, you know what, Cooper would have made that, or Robinson might have caught that, or whatever. So
Robinson would not have, but that's fine.
He would not have caught it because he sucks. But in theory, they think he would.
So I picked the Raiders.
Who did you? I'm going with the Raiders.
I'm going with Baker. I mean the Raiders.
I didn't have a Raiders jersey, or I would have worn that.
Perfect. All right, now we got the battle for New York / New Jersey. The Jets heading to the Bills. Big AFC matchup. AFC East. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Only 5% are on the Jets. They've been better lately. Mike White is a slinger. Von Miller's out for the Bills, done for the year. That was a pretty bad hit for them defensively. And so, I mean, this could turn into a shootout. The Jets defense is solid too, though. But I'm going to stick with the Bills. Shame on me for going against them last week.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I guess they're as good as I expected them to be. So I'm going to stick with the Bills. But I don't feel 95% confident like that.
Fair. Yeah, I too am going with the Bills. Kudos to Mike White. I know they lost last week to the Vikings, but they hung in there. They had a chance. They were on the 1 yard line under a minute and they blew it. But so I think it is going to be definitely closer than 95% to 5%. But I'm going to go with Buffalo, especially at home.
Yeah. All right. The battle for Ohio, the Browns heading to Cincy to take on the Bengals.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson kicked off some of the rust last week. Did not look good at all.
Did not look good at all.
Got that one under his belt, though.
But who did look good with the Bengals, and going up against the KC team, who now they, as we talked about, won 3 straight against them. It's pretty impressive, and it's awesome to see them rounding into form. Again, this is the Bengals team we were hoping to see all year. They struggled out the gate, but now they've kind of solidified themselves, gotten a little more consistent. And again, as we talked about, they're doing it without Joe Mixon. So the fact that Samaje Perine been able to step right in, really kind of set that offense going. And with Jamar Chase back, I mean, watch out. Bengals, they're going to be getting healthy at the right time. They're hitting the stride at the right time, and this is going to be no different going Cincy.
Yeah, I got to go Cincy as well for all the reasons you just said. I think as they're getting healthy, time of season kicks in where it's like, all right, time to make that playoff run.
Yeah,
time to see what we're really made of. This team's dangerous, man. Dangerous once again. The defense doesn't seem to be quite as good as it was last year, and I don't know why. They seem like they've got most of their players back.
But it's fine. I mean, they held the Chiefs to 20 points. I mean, that's good considering what the Chiefs have been doing.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I'll be happy with that.
All right.
Now we
how
got
about
battle?
The battle for Texas, right?
I'm the lead in. I'm the battle for Texas, leading you. It's a tough one. Who you got?
Cowboys rolling.
Cowboys.
40 touchdowns. I'd say 2 touchdowns apiece for Zeke and Pollard.
Yeah. I mean, if they scored 33 unanswered against the Colts in the 4th, what are they going to do to this 110? Although I guess the Texans tied the Colts, so that means they're just as good. But yeah, Cowboys.
Okay. Battle for the NFC North. The Vikes traveling to the red hot Lions. Who you got?
Man.
Come on.
Oh, man. This is kind of another fun. I just feel like the Lions are always a fun matchup whenever they're involved. It's the Jaguars game last week, and I don't know. they're a team that's also kind of hitting their stride. Jameson Williams is back. I know they're slowly bringing him in. DeAndre Swift is getting a lot more healthier, and him and Jamal Williams is a good backfield. Man, I really want to go Detroit here. I really do. Just also because the Vikings, again, as we just talked about, they could have lost to New York. They looked, it was a battle with the Patriots going back and forth. So the defense is a little bit of a question mark. And again, oh man, you know what? Screw it. Hometown, let's go. You knew I was going to pick
with
them.
the Lions.
Going
Let's
with the
go.
Lions. Let's do it.
Man, I am like, I was wanting you to keep talking because I'm still on the fence on this one. I really am. Because I really feel like the Lions can get it done.
That's the thing. Like, we shouldn't be on the fence, but we are. And it's a testament to the scrappiness of the Lions. And again, they could win this game or they could lose by 30. That's the thing you just kind of is frustrating about. It's kind of tough. But I don't know. It's just something. There's some buzz. I know they're 5-7. I know they've lost a lot of games they shouldn't have. But the fact they've also been able to stay in games is just, I don't know. There's something about it. There's just something. And that's why I kind of want to just be on that train when it's going. And so that's why I'm getting a seat, bought my ticket.
I'm with you, man. And this game features two of my absolute favorite NFL players right now. Justin
AJ
Jefferson,
and
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love those two, man. I think they are the future of this league. So
yeah,
I'm with you.
Ooh. First of all, I didn't realize Amon-Ra. Like, I know they had the Hard Knocks thing about how he's kept note of all the receivers drafted before him. I didn't realize it was that long of a list. I only thought it was like 7 or 6. I didn't realize it was like 22. And there are some bad names on there.
There's some bad names on there. Yeah, like Diami Brown, who's the one who's kind of famously
and Tutu Atwell, whatever.
Tutu Atwell. Yeah.
Nico Collins. Anyway.
That's part of that problem with playing on the West Coast, though, too, is like you don't get the publicity, I mean, he was at USC, but
USC though.
You don't get the publicity because the games are on at 10 o'clock at night. No one's watching that.
And they were mediocre. So
I seriously don't want to pick this one. It's so hard.
You want to come back to it? We can come back to it. I already picked mine.
I know you took the Lions. I'm inclined to do the same thing.
We'll come. Well, actually, yeah, no, you got to pick now because I don't want you to oh, well, we only missed on like 3, so I'll go the same.
I'm going Lions at home. Lions at home.
Okay, perfect. So now I get to lead you in to start this one. Jags against your Titans, man. It's a tough one.
This is a tough one, man. The Titans are sputtering once again. Although at the same time, they're also like just losing to good teams and beating bad teams. So Trevor's health is going to matter a lot.
Yep.
If it's a pain tolerance thing and he's like, just shoot my Chumbawumba up and I'm good to go, then I think this game becomes really competitive. If he's like at all less mobile or less able to make some of the throws he makes because he can't plant as well or whatever, then I think the Titans will probably pull this thing out. Definitely more talent on the Jaguars roster right now, which I hate to say, but I got to go Titans at home. They got to win this game, man. This is one that you got to circle on your calendar and say like, okay, we need 2 or 3 more. This has got to be one of them.
Right. Man, I was actually a little disappointed with the Jags last week. I thought it was going to be a really much more fun matchup against the Lions.
Same.
And they just kind of crapped out. And it was at home, too, in Jacksonville. So prior to last week, I would have had a little – but then the Titans, go and lay an egg against the Eagles. But, again, as you talked about, they lose to the good teams but beat the bad teams. And so this is a bad Jaguars team right now. So I too, got to go Tennessee at home.
Yeah. I thought the game was in Detroit last week, wasn't it?
Was it in Detroit?
Jags game?
Oh, it was in Detroit. Yeah.
I think it was. All right, we got the Eagles and the Giants, NFC East. What's going on here?
As we've kind of talked about the past few weeks, the Giants are on that downward trend. And, I mean, kudos to them for having already
tied the Commanders.
They did tie the Commanders, those wily Commanders. So kudos to them for already having 7 wins at this point, but the wheels are starting to get a little rusted just because you can't keep up with all these injuries. You can't keep up with losing these playmakers. So the fact that this is where we're at is where they're at. And the Eagles are hitting their stride. They're looking unstoppable. Jalen Hurts, MVP, Eagles on the road. Let's go.
Yeah, I love Jalen. I'm all in on the Eagles too. I think the Giants, now that they're getting into their divisional games, you're starting to see this is kind of the meat grinder of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough division, man. Probably the toughest in football right now.
Well, I think I was looking at it. Remaining schedule, they have the second hardest remaining schedule. So like a
that's what I'm saying, man. They could very easily go 7-9-1, and people are going to be like, "What happened?" Just be like, "You just got your wins early. That's all."
Yeah,
That's all that happened. You
I
just
think
beat the teams you should have beat.
they're just behind the Bears with toughest remaining schedule.
That sucks.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, was it me? Yeah, you go ahead. Leave me in. I hate this matchup already because these are the two teams I hate to pick every time. I just hate both teams. So I'm just going to go on a tirade because I hate them both. Screw both of these guys. Steelers, just because Lamar Jackson's out.
Steelers, baby. Let's go. Lamar is out. Tyler Huntley, he will sling it, though. Look out. And he was a stud last year in some plays. Like, he doesn't just throw it. He can run, too. So this is a little more dangerous than you think. There's no one to throw to, you know? Devin Duvernay's kind of fallen off. Demarcus Robinson's, I guess, there. Deshaun Jackson's coming out.
Whatever.
All D's. All the
them.
receivers are named with a D.
You could tell me that Steve Smith was back there with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed being on the defense, and I would still hate I hated that team anyway, but I can't.
Well, yeah, that's why you hate them.
That is why I hate them.
And the fact that Joe Flacco has a Super Bowl. That's also
God.
Disgusting.
Patriots lost to them in the playoffs that year. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. I'm going to go Steelers too, but I mean, I don't know. I could absolutely see the Ravens pulling this one out.
Don't do that little. I don't know. You love the Steelers. You love Kenny
I'm on the Steelers right now.
You love Kenny Pickett, so don't give me the.
I'm on the Steelers right now, so I'm going to stay with them.
Steelers. Chiefs. Moving on. Moving on.
Chiefs, Broncos. Woof.
God. So this is an intriguing one. I'll let you start. So Tampa at San Fran. Man, this is tough. I don't know why it's 68-32 right now with San Fran, just because I mean, I guess I do.
Backup quarterback, right?
Bucks have looked terrible, but anyway, who you got here?
I was about to say more playmakers on San Fran, but that's not even true, honestly. These teams are both loaded on offense and defense.
Yeah.
These are two really talented teams. It's just one of them has executed better than the other. It's I got to tell you, it's hard for me to pick.
It is
Brock Purdy to beat Tom Brady. It just doesn't reconcile my brain.
But at the same point, we've said that all year. And think of who beat Tom Brady. Was it Trubisky at the time? I think it was Trubisky and Pickett both beat Tom Brady. They were both in that game. Like freaking PJ Walker beat Tom Brady. So I don't think we can use that anymore. I get what you're saying because I'm the exact same way. Just like we said, there's no way Tom Brady's going to lose 3 games in a row. They did that. There's no way he's going to lose. And they've done that. They've found ways to lose. They found ways to look crappy. They shouldn't have won last week. That was ridiculous. So anyway, sorry, it's your pick. Go ahead.
They should not have. And so if this were Jimmy G, I would go San Fran all day and just be like, the team's just better. They're playing all levels of the game better. The Brock Purdy thing makes me nervous. I know he looked good. Once you get a week to check out some tape, which he doesn't have a lot of tape, but once you get a week of tape on him, he is still a rookie and a 7th rounder at that. And that makes me nervous, obviously. Can he get the ball into the hands of the playmakers? He's good at the dump offs. That's helpful. And that'll I mean, I think McCaffrey will crush the Bucs in the dump off game. I'm going to go Buccaneers. Brady heading back to the Bay Area. Sentimental win for him.
Damn it. I was hoping you weren't going to go with the Bucs because the one thing I was just thinking is the one thing that the Bucs have right now is that the defense is playing pretty well. I mean, granted, they're playing against the Saints, and the Niners, even when Jimmy G was in there, had some weird offensive games where they couldn't get it going. You know, I guess they beat that same Saints team 13-0. So damn it. I was hoping you were going to pick the Niners because I was going to go with kind of like the upset here and pick the Bucs. So I can't change it now just because you picked the Bucs. So
yeah, I think just the wild card, the wild card of Purdy, honestly.
And this is where I'm just bummed because I want the 49ers to be good. I want them to they're finally putting it all together because once again, they started off slow, a team with good hype, good pieces. And then they lose 2 quarterbacks now when this was looked like a team that was dressed for success to make it to a Super Bowl. So it's tough.
What I tell you about CMC and Baker Mayfield? What I tell you? If he doesn't go to the Niners, you know why.
Kyle Shanahan said they were happy with Brock, so that was why.
Yeah, of course you're happy with the last pick in the NFL draft, not the first pick in the NFL draft from 5 years ago. No, did you see that? I sent you that. There's a great meme out there of Dwight from The Office. He's at a Christmas party or something, I forget, and I think it was the guys were on a retreat or something. Then Angela showed up and he's kind of oh. It was CMC.
CMC. Baker.
CMC going to San Fran. Then CMC when Baker it may be. He's like, oh no, get out of here.
He actually says an expletive, but we won't say that.
Yes, we will not say that. Children's program. Okay,
Yeah, children's.
That's kind of boring. How about the Panthers taking on the Seahawks in Seattle?
Man, got to keep riding that Seahawks train, even though they don't have a running back to stand on. Seahawks, just keeps proving people wrong, and I'm very upset with myself. After week 1, I was playing Ricky in our league, and we had a great matchup in week 1. And the bet was if I lost, I would have to pick up Geno Smith, and if he lost, I don't remember, or he would have to pick up Geno Smith. And so I lost, and I picked up Geno Smith. I honored the bet, and then like a week or 2 later, I dropped him. I have a lot
sure
of
it was like 3 days later. I'm pretty sure it was like before
he was on it.
Playing.
He was on there for a week at least. But yeah, so now I have egg on my face because Geno is actually doing better than my starting quarterback right now. So
yeah, shame on you.
Shame on me. So I'm not making that mistake again. Going Seattle.
I'm taking the Seahawks as well. Again, not much faith in that Panthers offense. I hope Deontay Foreman, who's a little banged up, plays because I think he's a stud in the backfield, and Seattle's run defense is pretty terrible. So that could keep it competitive. Wouldn't be stunned if Carolina wins this game, but I'm going to go Seahawks as well.
Okay. All right. Now we got the Dolphins versus the Chargers. Potential
Sunday Night Football.
At one point.
This was interesting, man.
Saying
cross country. Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
You and your cross country. Okay.
Me and cross country. I'm liking the Dolphins, man. I'm still on the Tua train. I'm still on Tyreek is such a freak, man. I love that dude. I don't know what they were doing in the running game last week against the Niners, but they could not get it going. I think they will get it going against the Chargers here. Chargers still banged up in the receiving room in particular. I don't think Mike Williams is going to play. Keenan's back and looking great. Mm-hmm. Joshua Palmer is kind of fallen off the map, and DeAndre Carter a little bit as well. So I don't know. There's something just weird about this Chargers team to me. I have trouble picking them.
I completely agree with everything you're saying. But for whatever reason, and that's why I just feel like they could also pull out a game like this. I think this is also where Brandon Staley is fighting for his life because, I mean, I know this is I was listening to some radio show and they were talking about maybe Sean Payton's going to be coming in next year to steal that job away from him because, shoot, the Chargers would jump at that chance to get Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm going to go Chargers here. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason, only just because the Dolphins, I just feel like could sometimes just throw a stinker out there. And I think it could be that stinker.
They can. Yeah. I don't think you're crazy to pick the Chargers. I just, I don't know.
Because again,
faith in the Dolphins.
If they want to make the playoffs, if he wants to keep his job, I know it's only his second year, but you can't do this 2 years in a row with the team you have. And I know they've been banged up a little bit, but
yeah, you're right though. And it's not just that he hasn't completely gotten it done. Number one, it's because he has so much talent and he's got Justin Herbert, who's like a generational quarterback for them. But also number two, like it's the way they're losing a lot of these games. He's making weird calls. He was like big time on the data analytics train his first season and made some weird calls that didn't work out. And so the NFL is like, oh, see, we told you that data's crap. And you're like, probably was the right call, but it didn't work. And so now he looks like a moron, you know? And so because he's kind of like unconventional in that way, I think he's taking a lot of heat for the losses. And you need to, as a coach, you're making the call. Do you go for it? Do you not go for it? Do you punt it? Do you not punt it? Field goal, touchdown. What do you do? So if it doesn't work, you got to own up to that too. So I agree. He's fighting for his job. I just don't know that it matters, honestly. Okay. I think Mike McDaniel, on the other hand, is like crushing it in his new job. And
I like that. It just doesn't sound like we're talking. He's crushing his new job right now. He's doing really well in his new job.
He did excellent. He was collating those copies really well.
He's on the partner track in a few years, you know.
Okay. So you got the Chargers here. All right. Monday Night Football. We got the Pats and the Cardinals.
Gross.
Who you got?
I don't know. The only saving grace is that the Cardinals do not have a great defense right now, and they're just, yeah. I'm going to go Patriots. This is, I guess, the homer pick, only because the Cardinals are just as inept as they are. But I'd like to think that if it comes down to coaching, you would hope that Bill Belichick can out-coach one Cliff Kingsbury. So I'm just going to give the coaching edge here.
There's an absolute coaching edge to Bill Belichick over Cliff Kingsbury. That is indisputable. However, there's a talent edge for Arizona over New England. So the question is, which one wins out, right?
Right.
I'm not going to say stuff like it's a must win for the Cardinals and Cliff and his job and all that because, like, who cares? Like, they need to win. They're 4-8 for God's sake. Kingsbury's been in the hot seat for 3 years now. Like, whatever. I'm taking the Cardinals at home. I think they're getting on the opposite end of the Chargers. They're getting healthier. You know, they're getting Hollywood Brown back. Would love to see Rondale Moore in here, but if he can't go and Greg Dortch can, I know they're both kind of banged up. Either one of them would be a huge win for this team to have a slot presence that's really consistent. And I think that would be a big help.
Okay.
James Conner had a couple of stringing together some good games here recently. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals at home. This Pats team really disappointed me last week, and I felt dumb for picking them. So I'm off. I'm back off.
That's fair. How many points?
I'm going to go with 45 on this one.
Oh my gosh, I have 44.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought a 24-21 game.
24-20 coming up.
Okay. All right, man.
Wow.
There you have it.
There it is. There it is. Well, we got our picks in, got a tiebreaker in, but we got to figure out like a tiebreaker because of last week. But anyway, I digress. But you know what time it is? It is time for some elf trivia. All right.
Let's go. I'm going to see what I can remember about this movie. I think I watched it last year. I think I started watching it with our kids. But it's been a year. It's been a year.
It's funny. So my kids have seen it once or twice. But one of their little friends was over yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, have you seen Elf?" And she hadn't. It's like, "What? You haven't seen Elf? Like, how dare you?" They got pretty upset about it. Okay. So I have like 7 questions just because it's in my brain. I was like, oh yeah, I just got rattling them off. So I'll give you all 7, but you can take your best 5. So it's basically like you're playing Texas Hold'em. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
I'll let you do it just because I like this. I like giving out questions. I like it.
Okay.
All right. How does Buddy get his name?
It was on his diapers. He was on his diaper.
Yes, he was in the orphanage. He crawls into Santa's bag when he gets to the workshop. It just says Buddy's diapers. So
Buddy's diapers, yeah.
Buddy's diapers. Perfect. Look at that. Great start. 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
All right. What is the insult that Buddy calls himself when he considers himself the worst toy maker in the world?
So I don't remember if he called himself this, but I know the big insult is a cotton-headed ninny muggin.
That is correct, and he does call it himself. He goes,
"It's for himself." Yes,
I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins. I was like, "What?"
Yes, yes. Everyone is appalled by that language.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay, good.
Whoa, yeah.
2 for 2.
I've seen some Christmas sweaters that have that on there, and I'm like really tempted to get one.
Yes, good. Well, you can get it for me. I can have two sweaters.
That's true. You do need a new one.
All right. So since he's not a great toy maker, he's way behind everyone else's quota. He is put in the toy testing department. What toy is he testing?
Oh, this is a funny part because he's kind of like sad, but he also absolutely hates this toy, and it freaks him out every time it happens. It's the Jack in the Box. He's always twisting, and it just freaks like, oh god.
But then there's that one like,
and one at the end it doesn't do it, and he's like keeps going, and then goes real fast.
Like that, he slams it down. Anyway, so yes. The Jack in the Box. Look at that, man. You were 3 for 3. You're crushing this.
Okay. Not bad.
And here's an easy one. Who tells Buddy that he hopes he finds his dad?
Buddy, hope you find your dad. I know the phrase. I hope you find your dad.
Hi, Daddy. Hope you find your dad.
Is it the snowman?
Oh, it is not the snowman. It's thanks, Mr. Narwhal. It's a little
Narwhal. That's who it is. Okay.
Yeah, but the snowman was there. He was there.
Okay.
All right. What? Okay, this is kind of a hard one-ish. What is the code of the elves?
Is this the turn? We're going to call this the turn.
What does that mean?
Okay. In Texas Hold'em.
Oh.
This is the turn.
Flop.
No. The code of the elves?
Yes. What is the code of the elves?
Is it I'm trying to think of like maybe this is just a first rule or something. Would it make every day feel like Christmas or seem like Christmas or something?
I'll give you that. It is treat every day like Christmas.
Treat every day like Christmas.
Yes. Well done. Good job. All right.
Good enough.
What are you? 4 for 5. 4 for 5.
Now we get the flop.
Now comes the
or is it the opposite? I forget. I think the flop is I don't remember which is which.
Oh, we know what the last one is, the river. So we're almost
we know the river's the last one.
Where is Walter Hobbs' office located?
Was in Manhattan.
I need more.
I think it's the Empire State Building, isn't it?
It is the Empire State Building. Boom.
Been to the top of that thing.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
nice.
Pretty sweet
All
views
right.
up there.
Now comes the river.
All right, for the river.
For the river. Name 2 places that Buddy takes Jovi on their first date. It's a whole montage.
Yeah. So I feel like there's the Rockefeller Center to see the tree, and I feel like there's ice skating.
You know what? And I'll give you both of those as 2 separate ones. See if you can keep going though, because it was kind of like a combo. They were looking at Christmas trees, just like in like store fronts, and then she says, "Oh, you want to see something?" So she brings them to Rockefeller Center, and yes, then they go ice skating. So I'll let you have that as 2, but see if you can.
But where was he taking her initially?
Yeah. So give me 2 more. Come on, the first one's the best.
At some point, he's like jumping.
Well, yeah, they're jumping just down the street. But so the first one, I'll give you a hint. He blindfolds her and has her taste something. So she tastes it and she goes, "Do you know what that is?" Like, tastes like a crappy cup of coffee. No.
Yeah. Oh, the best cup of coffee in the world.
Coffee.
Best coffee. That's right.
No, that's the world's best cup of coffee. And then another one I would have accepted is brings them back to stores to do the revolving doors. It just keeps going round and around.
Just running around in circles. Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
The
world's best
cup of coffee. All right, man. So you got out of 7, you got 6. So that means you got a perfect 5 for 5 with your best hands put together. So
Royal Flush, let's go.
Royal Flush.
Go.
There it is. Crushing.
There it is.
See? And that was just off the old noggin. See, I like with the more of that trivia as opposed to like us deep diving. It's like, you know what? Just stuff that we know from seeing these movies over the years. So it's good.
True. Yeah. That's pretty good. I thought I was going to get a Gimbels or you smell like beef and cheese.
I figured that'd be way too easy.
What does Santa smell like?
What does Santa smell like? Or what does he sit on? A throne of lies.
Throne of lies.
So yes.
Fantastic. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. A young Zooey Deschanel is Jovi. It's fantastic.
That is actually her singing and all that. So yeah, pretty good.
Yep. We were talking about New Girl before the show.
I was watching
a montage of the D-bag girl. All right, let's get an update on the Run Your Pool Fantasy League that we have been doing. Season long. Reminder, you can only use these players one time throughout the entire season. I used a 3-point hammer on Monday Night Football from the Buccaneers defense. They got me 3. I was down 2 points going into Monday night, and I was like, I feel pretty good about this. They got me 3 points. I almost lost anyway.
Well, I think
113 to 112 is a barn burner.
Yeah. Well, one of my best picks was the Cowboys defense, so I was happy they did something. My gosh. Mahomes did good. Yeah. I mean, Burrow carries you. He was big. And Burrow and Garrett Wilson were huge for you. You know, I still had Patrick Mahomes. He was fine, but it wasn't like a huge Patrick Mahomes game. Christian McCaffrey and Keenan Allen were my big guys, but a couple disappointments. But, you know, it's the name of the game.
That is the name of the game. I meant to look and see how my kicker did because I'm pretty certain my kicker had another big week. Kicking against the Vikings. It was the Jets kicker. It was Greg Zuerlein. I think he had like double-digit points again. I'm pretty certain.
Let's see. He had for you 16 points. So dumb.
Yep. That's the second week in a row I've gotten 16 from a kicker.
So stupid.
Second week in a row. I told you. Take your kickers against the Vikings.
Yeah. Hey, but what I don't understand is, so I had Donovan Peoples-Jones. They didn't count his punt return touchdown, which I'm a little upset about.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'll give you 6 for that.
Because it says 7.4 points, 3 catches on 44 yards, which is 7.4 points. But he had a punt return for a touchdown. That's like 13 points right there. So
you lost 6.
I'll take
asterisk. Well, asterisk can give you 6 at the end if you're down by more than 6.
Fair. I'll take that.
We'll make a loss a closer loss if we're there. Okay. So I am up by 118 on the season.
112.
Things are starting to dwindle down.
112.
I thought it said 118.84.
Subtract 6, please.
Oh, 112.84. We'll see. As of right now, 112. Fine.
Yes.
I felt really good about that though, because last week I was not bringing heavy heat, and for me to get a draw or to lose by 10 or less, I think would be a win for me at this point.
It was.
I'm kind of out of studs for the most part. But I got
Yeah.
a few up my sleeve here for this week.
Okay. Well, for me, I put up some studs last week, and 2 of the studs did great. Anyway, I'm going with Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, nice. All right, so I've got Derek Carr going in this week.
You hate
Let's
him.
go them Raiders.
You hate him, but he's been playing well, man.
He has been playing well, and I
for-
think they win
For
anyway.
my
So
running back guy I should have picked up that I didn't was Cam Akers.
I'm also rolling out Cam Akers this week, and I did pick him up in our fantasy league. I'm
saw
hopeful
that.
he does something.
I was like, damn it. I actually would have taken him.
I don't know why you didn't do it. You had the number one priority. You could have gotten him or James Cook, and you didn't get either one of them.
I didn't get another one.
Whatever,
I am then riding with Panchero himself, Pacheco.
Panchero, your boy.
Yep.
I got Zeke going against the Texans. I think he's good for 2 touchdowns, man. Go ahead and take it to the bank.
He probably is. Next, I'm going with DJ Moore, wide receiver 1.
Risky play there. I mean, it's DJ Moore, so you know he's good, but he's been streaky, man.
Yep.
I'm going with Tyler Lockett.
He's been good.
Pairing up with Geno. They don't have a running game this week. I think it's going to be a big Lockett and Metcalf week.
True. Going has been back. He welcome back last week. Got to get him in before he gets hurt again. Jamar Chase.
He better not get hurt again. All right, I got Jerry Jeudy going for Denver. This is kind of a random one for me, but I think Sutton's going to sit.
Sutton, yeah.
Judy's healthy now. He's back. He's got to be their only guy, and they're going to get obliterated by the Chiefs, but you can throw on the Chiefs.
True. For my tight end, going with one rook on the Bucks, Cade Otton.
I like Cade Otton a lot. They seemingly only play him when Brate is injured, which I think is stupid because Brate is clearly done.
Yeah.
But I would get Otton involved, man. I really would.
All it does is
my tight end this week, I think this is where I'm gonna blow it out. TJ Hawkinson, revenge game against the Lions. Hawkinson's gonna go off for the Vikings.
They're probably just gonna.
Oh, you're gonna get rid of me in the middle of the season? Really? Okay. Second rounder. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I
probably
don't think he's upset about it. As he said, it's finally nice to be on a winning record, so I don't think he's mad.
True.
For my kicker, going with Dicker the kicker, Cameron Dicker.
Dicker the kicker. Well, I'm sticking with kickers against Minnesota. I'm going with Badgley for the Lions. Give me 16. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
For my flex, since Rondale Moore was out, I was going to play him, but going with Greg Dortch instead.
Greg Dortch? Well, we don't know if Rondale Moore's out.
Going with Greg. Fine.
If Rondale Moore plays, Greg Dortch will get his 0.
I know. So you're going to give me the contingency? You're going to be that?
No, because I would have done Rondale Moore too. I was thinking about him in my flex, but I was like, I don't know if he's going to play or not.
That's why I went Greg Dortch.
Okay. Go Greg Dortch. All right, I'm going with DJ Chark of the Lions. He's had a couple of decent weeks. I don't love this at all, but it'd be a shootout.
That'd be good. Then for my defense, going with the Chiefs.
I wish I had the Chiefs. I don't. I'm going with the Raiders. Thursday Night Football, taking on the Rams.
You'll find out tonight if you're going to get that 3-point hammer or not.
I'm going to get the 3-point. What's it called when you get it Thursday night? I forget. There's a term for it, I think, whenever you go up early and you get early players. I forget what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
If only we knew something about fantasy football.
Anyway, so I'm going with Justin Herbert, Cam Akers, Isaiah Pacheco, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Cade Otton, Cameron Dicker, Greg Dortch, and the Chiefs defense.
I got Derek Carr, Zeke Elliott, Cam Akers, Tyler Lockett, Jerry Jeudy, TJ Hawkinson, DJ Chark, Michael Badgley, and the Raiders defense. Let's go.
I
feel pretty good about my lineup this week, actually, considering what's left for me.
I was gonna say, like at this point, when you're picking out what's left, yikes!
I still got Zeke and Lockett. I mean, I feel good about that. Hawkinson still, I saved him. I mean, that's good. I feel good about that.
Good, man. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
You should be proud of me. That's what I was going for. I was going for the pat on the back.
I know. So you got it.
All right.
So
We need to do a bet.
We do need to do our do it bet. So we were talking off air. We were trying to run out. We couldn't do punters, not fantasy relevant. So we decided to go not with the Battle of New York, but the Battle for Ohio. OHIO. We are going to draft some Browns, some Bengals, wheel of names. I should have had it ready, but I don't. Here we go. Let's find
No guarantee that we're drafting any Browns, just FYI.
I know, right?
So 3 4 Bengals coming out of here.
It's all Bengals. I might just take the Browns kicker. Just saying.
We're also not drafting the Battle for Texas. You failed to mention that.
I did fail to mention that. You're right. I apologize. Do you want to do that one instead?
Or the battle for well, it's not the battle for California anymore. The Raiders and the Rams have both moved so many times. I don't even know where they're at.
Kemper in the red, Ethan in the blue. Wheel of names. Who are
Let's
you?
go. That is solidly blue for Ethan with the first pick. This is garbage.
Give me Joey Burr. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm taking Jamar. You know that.
Damn it.
Love me some Jamar. Second pick. Well, we could do what we did last time, and I could take another receiver, and you could take Deshaun. I'm nervous about Deshaun, man. I really am not sure that.
I would not.
He does make me nervous.
He does.
I think I got to go with it, though. I guess I'll take Deshaun Watson, Jamar Chase.
All right. Then, do I go T. Higgins? Do I go Nick Chubb? Donovan People-Jones? Tough choices.
Could be anybody.
Evan McPherson?
Anthony Schwartz. Is he still on the Browns? Is he a Brown?
Maybe.
David Bell?
Jim Brown?
Jim Brown? Boomer Esiason? Icky Woods? Corey Dillon?
You know what? I don't want to take any Browns. So I'm going to go T. Higgins.
Probably the smart play, and I don't blame you at all. I would probably have done the same thing. I think Chubb is the other one you do look at, though.
That's the only other guy I was thinking about.
Because he's good for a touchdown every game.
He's been down lately. See, him and Saquon, after they were leading the league, they've both been quiet as the past 3-4 weeks.
Because Jamal Williams has been roaring to the top.
Roaring. So I think Joe Burrow and T. Higgins are going to have more fantasy points than Deshaun Watson and Jamar Chase. Do it.
I'd say Jamar Chase and Deshaun Watson have more fantasy points than Joe Burrow and T. Higgins. Do it.
Okay, there it is. Battle for Ohio. Only one Brown. Sounds fair. Sounds fitting. All right, so we did our do it bet. Going to be exciting to see who wins that one. We have to see who's winning the season long of the weekly do it bets. I've lost track. I feel like it was going back and forth. You went on a streak. I went on a streak. No idea.
Yeah.
We'll have to go through the archives.
Honestly, have not been keeping track.
I have honestly not been keeping track. But yeah, I've got our picks and pick 'em. We got our big game tonight. Kemper's wearing his not Raiders jersey, his St. Louis Rams jersey. So yes. So yeah, man, excited for week 14. See what's going to happen. Maybe my fantasy team can rebound. Yours is on a hot streak. So until next time, keep on folding.
Fold it.